Assalamu alaikum. ADP Part 2 Science students. I am Mrs. Munazza. The topic of today's video lesson is report writing. In today's video lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write a report. But before we start, let us define a report. So, what is a report? According to Cambridge English Dictionary, a report is a description of something or information about it to someone. Dictionary.com also defines it as an account or statement describing in detail an event, situation, or the like, usually as a result of observation, inquiry, etc. So, a report is a description or an account or a statement about something which is achieved, which you have gathered on the basis of observation or inquiry, and that information you pass on to someone. In simple words, we can define report as an objective, planned presentation of facts for the benefits of others. Now, there are two important points over here. Report should be objective and it should be planned presentation of facts. And the third is also there, and it should be written for the benefit of others. Now, objective means report is something formal. It has nothing to do with the personality of the writer. There is a set procedure that has to be followed in writing a report. And report cannot be written in a hodgepodge way. It should be systematically planned and presented. And then thirdly, it should be written for the benefit of others. This brings us to the purpose of report writing. The purpose of report writing is not only simple passing on of information which you have received from somewhere without putting any effort. In fact, it is a report. A report is a conscious effort. When you write a report, you write it, you compile it after taking into account the problem, the issue, the matter about which you are writing the report, and usually it is the solution of that problem, that issue, that specific issue or that specific problem that you try to find out in your report. So report is not written only to pass on information, but it is written to present facts, to present information, and then to discuss those facts, and then to analyze those facts, and yet then to interpret the information, and then finally drawing a conclusion which leads you towards recommendation. Now, for example, I am to write a report on a road accident. Okay, now definitely I would be asked by someone to write that report. Maybe I am a staff reporter and my editor of the newspaper wants me to compile a report on a road accident. Or maybe I'm a responsible citizen and I want a report to be compiled by me and submitted to the SSP traffic police. So I would be writing a report. But I won't be writing this report while sitting in my drawing room and thinking about an imaginative situation, writing on the basis of my personal opinion or judgment. What I would do is to go out, collect information, and that from some authentic source, then arrange that information systematically, and then I would be discussing, analyzing, and interpreting the information which I have gathered on the specific issue of road accident with the view to find a way to reduce the road accidents. Okay? And for that purpose, I would draw a conclusion and give my suggestions. So conclusions and recommendations are an integral part of a report. Report could be oral, it could be written. For example, oral report could be the one which you hear from the mouth of a newscaster, and written report is the one which you read in the newspaper, or in your college magazine you read reports on fun fair or other events which have taken place in your school or college. Now, from examination point of view, you are supposed to write a short report, and since the weightage of report writing question is only 10 marks, therefore I think 1.5 sheet would be sufficient. The first thing which you write is the date when you're compiling the report. Then two is you write down the designation, the name of the organization, and the name of the city of the person for whom you are writing the report. From who is writing it? What is your designation? What is the name of your organization? Name of your city? You will also mention. Then the subject of the report. What is the subject of the report? What is the topic of the report? Now, all this information, students, all this information you will get from the statement given to you for writing a report. For example, you may be asked to write a report as a staff reporter to the newspaper, to the editor of a newspaper about the wasteful expenditure on weddings. Now here it is very much clear that you are going to write to the editor, newspaper, name the newspaper, and then city ABC, and from staff reporter, the name of the newspaper, and name of the city. Definitely you use ABC here for the name of city. Subject of the report is always underlined, and I'll be showing you a sample report, and you would see it over there. The subject of the report which I had, the statement which I had just shared with you, it would be of that report. The subject would be wasteful expenditure on weddings. Then introduction. Now, introduction is the part of this of the report in which you tell why are you writing the report, whether you have been asked to write a report or you are writing it by yourself. What is the purpose of your report? What what do you want to achieve by writing a report? What are the questions? What is the problem which you have identified on which you want to write a report, and how that problem you have identified. For example, wasteful expenditures on weddings. Now, why are you writing this report? Yeah. So it is the editor of the newspaper. Now you may be writing this report from a citizen to the prime minister, maybe. So, or to the editor of a newspaper. Now, in that case, what prompted you to write this report? Definitely, in that case, it would be as a responsible citizen, you feel, and you have seen many people spending, saving all their life to spend on the wedding of their son or a daughter, and then after the wedding, you might have seen them in financial crisis. So you may relate that thing over here. So in introduction, you give the reason for writing the report, for identifying the problem, that is identifying the subject of the report. Then text with finding. It is very important. This part of the report is very important. Nothing irrelevant should be included over here. Everything pertinent to the subject should be written over here. And definitely you would be telling, for example, again, report on the wasteful expenditures on weddings. So here you, as a staff reporter, when you're writing as a staff reporter, you may say that you have you have visited a few marriage halls of the city. You give their name and their location, and over there you have talked to the host of wedding. You have inquired about the expenses. You have inquired about the means of income of that host, and you may form other questions which regarding the report, and then you would be writing down only the relevant answers over here in your report. And then findings, and then on the basis of your inquiry, on the basis of your observation, okay, what are your findings? You would be mentioning over here or in this part of the report. Then you would be drawing conclusion on the basis of your findings. Okay. It could be that yes, people are they are spending too much on their weddings, and it is leading them to financial crisis, or your or something like that. Then next, on the basis of your conclusion, you will be suggesting and recommending. Now, suggestions and recommendations you can give along with conclusion as well. That we should follow simple Muslim weddings which took place in mosques. Okay, so you can write anything. We should discourage dowry. Okay, and then you would sign off. You would sign off with your signatures. So this is the layout of the report which you will be supposed to write. Regarding the length, I have already explained. From examination point of view, it should be 1.5 page length, and usually you are given the 200 word limit, 250 words. And anyways, from the depth of the report, in any case, depends on its title and its subject. But while writing it, you must keep in mind that the content of your report should be very much relevant to the subject. Most of the students, when they attempt this question, they write down anything that comes to their mind, and that thing, I think sometimes, I think mostly, is not related to the subject, the title of the report. So you must be very much careful about it. So writing a report is a conscious effort. Okay? Now, procedures, just for your recap. It's in a way a recap of the layout. Now, first thing, well, when you're asked to write a report, you must identify the problem. What is the problem? Is it the accident? Is it the wasteful expenditure? So you have to identify the problem on which you are to write the report. Then the target audience for whom you are writing the report. You must keep this in mind, and because this is going to help you write a good report. Here I would like to mention that the qualities of good report. When you identify the audience, definitely it will help you decide upon the language which you would be using. Okay? Usually the language of the report is simple, it is direct. We don't use metaphors, assemblies, or any other imaginative language. We do not make use of personal pronouns in report writing. We divide a report into paragraphs. We make sure that the grammar of the report is correct. We make sure that there is a logical connection between the ideas we are presenting or we are writing in the report, and we make sure that that one paragraph covers one idea, and it is supported by the secondary ideas. Then the third point is think about the ideas to be good. Now, after having identifying the problem and target audience, next step is think about the ideas. Now, ideas are very important. Whether you are writing an essay, or a report, ideas are very important. If you have ideas, then writing a report is peanuts for you. You know the layout. And then after ideas, you must think about the authentic material from authentic source to be included as facts in the report. Then you do analysis of the data, of the information, and interpret the data or information, and then you organize your finding. It is also very important that whatever are your findings, you must organize them in the form of paragraphs, which are again systematically and logically connected. And then you would conclude your report with reference to the problem identified in the introduction or in the beginning of the report. Finally, you will give your recommendation. How the problem of wasteful expenditure, expenditures on wedding, or the menace of wasteful expenditure on weddings could be cut short. Here is a sample report, students. I'll read it out for you. Let's read it together now, and do note down, do observe, be careful about the punctuation. Basically, it's a report from a police inspector to the SSP of police about traffic accidents in the city. So The first thing, as we have seen in the layout, is the date. So dated, then there is colon July 19, 2010. Then 2, again column, as I've told you, this is given in the statement of the report, that it should be to the Senior Superintendent of Police, XYZ, and from Police Inspector ABC. Subject of the report. Now see, the subject of the report is underlined. It's not a full sentence, it's a phrase. Okay? You must not write full sentence over here in the subject. Subject, colon, traffic accidents in the city. You have written all the things on the left hand side. Then, sir, comma, introduction. Now, you may write this introduction, or you may not. It's up to you. This introduction, it is underlined with the colon if you include it. Kindly refer to your letter number 438 dated 1st July 2010 on the subjects cited above. I have prepared a report about the recent traffic accidents which took place in the month of June. So the Superintendent of Police, through a letter, instructed the police inspector to compile a report on the recent traffic accidents which took place in the month of June in the city. And this is the reason why a police inspector is writing the report. So in the introduction, as I have told you, you have to give the reason for writing the report. Then, how he collected the information. He collected the information, what he did to get the information. Did he sit in his drawing room, in his living room, or in front of the TV and wrote down the report? No. What he did, on the receipt of your orders, I visited different places of accidents and found the following. Column. A rickshaw collided with a bus on June 20, 2010 at the corner of GTS stop. The bus was coming at full speed. The corner had a great crowd of people there. In the accident, the 3 fares sitting in the rickshaw were killed on the spot. The bus driver was arrested, duly challaned, and sent to prison on the charge of killing innocent people. There's a spelling mistake right there. It is sent. So, see, he had gone to different places where accidents had occurred, and from there he had collected first-hand information about the accident, and which he has given over here. You see, over here, it is when he is stating the incident, the accident. When he is stating, giving the information about the accident and what happened afterwards, he is not letting his personal self be reflected over here. Okay, he has not written that I saw. Okay, so it is objective. Then another very serious accident took place near the civil hospital chalk. A private Toyota car numbered SGD 4398 ran over a cyclist. The cyclist was crushed to death. On inquiry, it was found that the brakes of the car failed. The car needed repair, but the owner of the car did not worry about it. Again, objective description of the scene with the facts. The name of the car, the number of the car, and the name of the hospital. The detail of the accident. The third incident, another serious accident took place recently near the government college stop. A fast bus coming from Chang ran over the college boys, oh my God, who were waiting for the college bus. In that accident, many students were injured, but 2 of them were killed on the spot. Now, like me, as I said, oh my God, the reaction, the writer has not let his emotions be reflected in the report. It is objective representation of the ideas systematically. Okay, so the writer has not mentioned any emotion over here. These are bare facts which is stated. Then conclusion. In most of the accidents, now look, conclusion is underlined and then there is punctuation mark column. In most of the accident, it was seen that fast speed was the cause of accident. So a common factor has been discerned in 3 incidents by the inspector. So it is on the basis of the information collected that he is drawing this conclusion. So fast speed was the cause of accident. Most of the roads of the city are narrow and are in a bad condition. The flow of traffic is jammed by slow-moving vehicles. The bus drivers run their buses carelessly and do not give any importance to the life of the innocent citizens. So another problem is the behavior of the drivers. Now on the basis of this conclusion, suggestions, so everything is systematically arranged. There's a logical flow of ideas. Now suggestions is also underlined with colon and mark. It is suggested that the license of the drivers who run their buses beyond the fixed rate of speed should be cancelled to set an example for other drivers. So punishment for overspeeding has been suggested. The next suggestion is the roads of the city should be widened and repaired. See, he has mentioned this problem in the both of these problems in the information or in the text of the report. Another point: all vehicles should be withdrawn from all the city roads. Again, it's based on the information we have collected. Slow-moving vehicles should be discouraged. So it is based on the third third incident. So students, you've seen that how you will be writing a report. In the first passage, you will be introducing you will be writing down why are you writing the report. Okay, then what you did after after you decided to write a report. How did you collect information? You will mention that what information it should be impersonal, what information you have collected, and then on the basis of that information, what conclusions have you drawn, and then on the basis of those conclusions, what suggestions you want to give to the authority you are writing the report for. And finally, it is signed ABC. Police inspector is the name of the inspector. I hope students you have understood the pattern of writing a report. You have understood this pattern. It is very important. You must learn it and keep in mind. And one thing more, practice makes man perfect. Bacon has said so, and I would also advise you the same. If you read the sample report and few other reports from your grammar books, and then start writing a report by yourself, it would help you a great deal. You would be in a position to write a very good report. But remember, the report should be comprehensive, report should be readable, report should be objective, report should be well structured, and all of this could be possible if it is well planned, and planning would be possible if you have ideas. Ideas would be there if you have identified the problem you are supposed to write the report. So you must practice, practice, and practice. Here's an assignment for you based on today's lesson. You are supposed to write a report as a newspaper reporter on the steps taken by the government to face the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic to the editor of a newspaper. So dates, after date, you will write to the editor of the newspaper, and then designation, then the name of the newspaper and the city, then from staff reporter, and the name of the newspaper and city, subject, steps taken by the government to face the challenges of COVID-19, this phrase should be underlined, and then you will write your report. So do write it. If you have any problem, if you have any query, do ask me. I'm there on your WhatsApp group. Please do ask serious questions. Hope you have understood. Thank you very much for giving me your time.